Hello everyone, welcome to Rockshire Gaming. My name is Eric. Today, surprise, surprise, we're going to be doing another video on Marvel United, this time going over everything that was announced on days 16 and 17 of the campaign. Um, we are doing other things, Marvel related things, but we are going to be doing some other things on the channel. We just posted earlier today a unboxing video of the Fantastic Four box. I know it's old, but it's on this campaign, so I figure that'd be good for anybody that that wants to get that they can get that. Also, I have some gameplay videos recorded that I'm hoping to get edited sometime this weekend and get put out, hopefully before the end of this campaign is done. After that, probably could doing some other Marvel United gameplays, unboxings, that kind of stuff once the campaign dies down, and then also I don't know, playing something else that's on this board and not doing uh, as many one day turnaround or one night turnaround videos, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so we are doing Marvel United Multiverse by CMON Games again. So let's go overhead and switch views and see what they announced today, because it was a bunch of doozies. So first things first, that we're going to talk about the current pledge amount. It is 10:34 p.m. on Friday the 3rd. Yes, Friday the 3rd of February. We are currently sitting at 2,545,381 with just under 14,000 backers with just under 5 days ago. I know it says 4 days, but it's like 4 days, 22 hours, and some odd minutes at this point. So probably 25 minutes since it's 10:35. But yeah, so that is what's going on. We're gonna start this with again, as we do, with some math. Now, as I said, right now it is just over $2.5 million that they have raised at this point on day 17, comparatively, for the first Marvel United, when we unlocked the stretch goal for day 17. We got they were at 1,480,000. That's what the stretch goal number was for that on Marvel United 1. Marvel United 2 for the same day, it was 3,420,000. Again, as I always say, with that said, the entirety except for the core box of Marvel United 1 was offered during Marvel United X-Men. So that kind of does inflate the numbers some. And as you can see, things are going up or down. I didn't see what the number was prior to that. But yeah, so that is where we are as far as that number goes. In the original Marvel United uh, on day 17, we had unlocked, looks like 27 characters during that campaign. During the X-Men campaign on day 17, we had 37 characters, so 10 more characters than the other one in this campaign. By the end of I go with 37, by the way. The 37 I mentioned is not counting the 5 characters in the X-Force box. That brings that number up to 43. With that said, at this point in this campaign, we have increased the character count to 43 characters in the game, in Multiverse. So CMON has done that. So unless we hit this last stretch goal, which I don't think is going to happen, because I think the next stretch goal is at 2.6 million, we are not going to be hitting that number today. So just to reiterate, that's 43 announced characters. We actually have only unlocked 42 characters as of this point. The 43rd character is not going to get unlocked tonight, at least before midnight tonight, East Coast time. So with that said, there's a lot to cover in this campaign, and but actually, before we go on, one more thing on the math, and I found this interesting. I was actually looking at KickTrack today, and I'm gonna shuffle over there, and I know with how I have my screen, You can't really see it. This is the graph right here, pledges per day for Marvel United 1. And people are always worried, oh my gosh, the end of the campaign, we're not going to get to my favorite character. My favorite character is not going to show up. We'll get to that on... we're probably going to do another video on Monday, because Monday is... CMON has already announced they're doing not a weekend review, but they're doing another live stream on Monday afternoon. That will most likely be when the last expansion box will be announced and when the all-in will be announced. And after that, we're going to see numbers just fly, stretch goals just fly. Hopefully they're not spaced too far apart, so that way we can hopefully get everything that we want to get. But they're going to do that, and then Wednesday's the end of the campaign. I am either going to film another video like this and put it out after the campaign's over, because it's going to be ending at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, the 8th, or depending on how YouTube works, because I know, again, I'm going to do it here with the whole like and subscribe thing with the channel, because I think right now the channel has 47 subscribers. I think you need 50 to do a live stream. So what I would like to do would be to do a live stream, hopefully starting it right before the campaign ends, and kind of go over everything while refreshing the page and kind of looking at it live would be my ideal. I'd probably start it like at 8:30 or so. Again, that's depending on whether or not I get the kids to bed early enough. But if not, and I don't unlock that at that point, then we'll just do a regular video as normal. But anyway, kick track, looking at this number right here. So all these days right here, this is, of course, the beginning of the campaign for Marvel United 1, day 1. And all these spikes, if I look at my... the spike right here, the spike right here, this one here, and this one here. If I'm looking at my my list right here, this spike here on February 14th was Tales of Asgard. This one on the 19th was Guardians Remix. This one here on the 21st was Rise of Black Panther. On the 25th here was Spider-Verse. And then somewhere over here, and I'll reveal it in a second, was Sinister Six. The thing I wanted to show you as I scroll over is this is when Sinister Six was announced, and I'm also assuming the all-in pledge. So you can see how all the funding and most likely stretch goals per day just exploded during those days. Same thing for X-Men. On the X-Men, we had right here on the 16th. These are the first 2 days of numbers right here. Right here on the 16th, this higher spike is the First Class. Let's see here. This big spike right here on the 21st was Blue Team, Gold Team. Let's see, the 23rd, this was Phoenix 5. 27th here was Deadpool. The 29th, that's the locations right there. Let's see, the 30th. I don't have what was done on that one. That's not X-Force. That would have been maybe Days of Futures Past was here. And then when we scroll over to the 3rd, when Fantastic Four was announced, that's also when the All-In Pledge was announced. So again, people who are worried that we're not hitting stretch goals fast enough, one, we've shown that we're only literally one stretch goal behind as far as figures go. And if you add in all the team packs that we have unlocked, team cards and whatnot that we've unlocked throughout this campaign, we actually have unlocked more stretch goals than Marvel United X-Men. It's just the dollar amounts are kind of skewed. So like I said, if you're watching this and you're on the Facebook forums and you're constantly seeing people who are Facebook forums, I'm done, Facebook post, and you see that people are like, oh man, we're not unlocking as much stuff as X-Men, or we're not anywhere near X-Men or anything. We're near X-Men. I don't know what, I have to go, and I'll have that for the Monday update. I don't know how many actual characters they've unlocked. I could go through and count, but I don't want to. But I would the expansions are going to be more or less what is determining the number of figures that we have right now. It's not from the stretch goals are not. And actually, Marvel United 1 also had the addition of from their lists. They had a total of 43 unlocked stretch goals with 3 additional from Fury, Hawkeye, and Corvus Glaive. So that's 46 that were in that stretch goal box, plus 2 more they added at the end. So that's 48 stretch goal characters. X-Men ended at 55 with a couple. Who was it? 55 with Toad, Blob, and Pyro. So that's 58, and then who else was the other ones? And I don't have them on here. Storm and Old Man Logan added into that. So that's 58. So that's 60 characters right there. We are currently sitting at 43 characters with the Wrecker. So 43, 47 with Iron Lad. That's 48 characters right now in going in the stretch goal box. So, but enough of all that. Let's go back over here to the United page and we will take a look. That was a long-winded explanation of just being able to say the new and improved Goblin. Before we ended the last video, because of the fact that I was filming it that morning and the stretch goal was unlocked, got unlocked while I was doing the last update. I don't know who of you was right, but as soon as we unlocked Wong, we got Hobgoblin. So Roderick Kingsley is the new stretch goal for that, and he was, well, I wasn't going to say he was. We had a villain before that, but remember, we didn't have a proper villain in this unlocked since the 5th of January. So, not the 5th of January, day 5. What day of January was that? January 22nd. I don't know why I always get confused, but yeah, day 5 was the last day we had a villain, and now we seem to be getting villain characters again. Straight villains, straight bad guys, not counting anti-heroes. So Hobgoblin was announced. Says on here, stealing the Green Goblin's equipment and improving on his formula, Hobgoblin is ready to unleash his nefarious plans on the heroes. His arsenal allows him to bombard all heroes in both adjacent locations every time he bams, accelerating his plan whenever a hero is KO'd. Thanks to his improved formula, Hobgoblin is extremely tough. The first time he would be defeated, he simply gains 2 health plus extra health for each threat still in play, and yes, his overflow effect is able to bring back cleared threats. His threats hinder heroes further by depriving them of special actions and increasing the damage taken. So that is pretty much Green Goblin 2.0, the improved Goblin. It is the improved Goblin. So this is going to be pretty nasty. And then they announced on here that they were going to be doing a live stream on Friday, which was today. So there was the Hobgoblin there, and then the next update was something that I thought was more of a Star Wars reference, although I do realize it's from the TVA from the Loki TV series. Now this is a big announcement, this one on here, and it's something that a lot of fans have been wanting of the game for a while. The update was called the Sacred Storylines. So they introduced the concept of campaign decks. There's going to be 8 campaigns total, and I'm also realizing they haven't even announced what one of the campaigns is still, although kind of wondering with the green background if it's going to be something Hulk related, but we don't know. But yeah, so this is an optional buy, only $15, but this is going to be a big one. So, and there's more to this later on. There's another update on here where they basically cover a lot of information before they even got to what the stretch goal unlock was going to be. So campaign decks, $15. You get exclusive campaigns for the game. There's going to be one for Age of Apocalypse, War of Kings, Dark Phoenix Saga, Avengers versus X-Men, Executioner's Song, Age of Ultron, Maximum Carnage, and one yet to be revealed. And it does also say on here how many games they expect you to play with each um, deck. So Apocalypse you can be able to play 7 games with that. Dark Phoenix is going to be 6. Executioner Song 4 games. Yes, I did point out all the specific X-Men ones that didn't involve Avenger. Apparently my dog is trapped in the room with me, so let me get her out of here. All right, that's better. These are going to be all the different campaign decks. They also go into a little bit of how campaigns are going to run in the game. Each campaign starts with a roster of heroes that can be used in each game. As the campaign progresses, depending on what happens, new heroes may be added to this roster while others are removed. New heroes may even show up mid-game depending on events. At the start of each game, the rules card indicates which villain must be used, any mandatory locations that must be in play, and any other special setup instructions. A few games will even require playing with certain challenges or in different modes like team versus team, supervillain, or Clash of Heroes. One particular game even calls for a commander solo mode game, which again, pretty interesting that just what they're doing. Even like playing a solo mode game, like if you're playing a campaign with a group and then you have to go off and do a solo mode. I don't know if that's going to be anything from I can kind of think either Age of Apocalypse or Executioner Song. That's an old one to be. It's not as much, as far as I know, not as famous as a storyline as a lot of other ones. Although I'm realizing the Maximum Carnage may or may not be where the solo mode comes in with Spider-Man. And then it goes into more more details on what you need to do for the game. I'm gonna let you read it through because this is a major update on here and kind of goes over, yes, you can lose the encounter. In some cases, you may be able to play the encounter. You may lose characters from the character pool from death and whatnot. They do go in and give an example here of the Apocalypse one, which I know this storyline they're talking about here is from X-Men Chronicles #1, which predates the actual Age of Apocalypse event. Like, it was part of the Age of Apocalypse event, but it was telling a story that happened before the actual event of Age of Apocalypse. There's all that. Example of it in here is that depending on how it goes, Sabretooth may be turned from being a villain. Like I said, there's a lot of interesting stuff in this game and how it's going to run. Yeah, one of the other important things they mentioned in here is that to play all of this properly, it is going to require that you basically own everything in Marvel United. They said they did not want to, because of the scope of how the campaigns would run, they didn't want to basically say, we're excluding these sets, this set, this set. They didn't exclude it to just retail boxes or retail characters. They opened this up entirely to the exclusives from the Kickstarter and all those characters, which for someone who's like me and other people that I know who have everything from the game, it's great. It's $15 and adds a wealth of replayability to my game. Other people I understand, are not going to be able to benefit from this and or feel excluded. They also do say in here that you can substitute components if you wish to, but you're going to adjust the difficulty if you do that, because some things may make the scenario, some substitutions may make the scenario worse, some might make it better. So it just depends on what happens. So they do go into a little bit here of what boxes from Phase 1, Phase 2, and now Phase 3 are going to work or not work with these campaign mode cards. There is another update, and we'll cover it, that they actually break down more of what exact components from each of these sets are going to be used. So, but yeah, there is that update right there. The update that came up after that on February 2nd was just painted marvels for Annihilation. They went through the Annihilation stuff and painted up the characters. Again, people complaining about that midriff on um, Moondragon. They painted like that if you're worried about the midriff. So there's all the characters there. And then again, what's next in the master plan? Well, I'm glad you asked. So with the reveal of the campaign decks, they went ahead and arguably finished Excalibur by announcing the card for Megan, Captain Britain's favorite lady. She's going to have her character piece in her 12 hero cards. She's going to have her psionic powers, manipulating earth. She can protect her location, so villains must skip it. Manipulating air, she can move anybody around in her vicinity, not only heroes and villains, but thugs and civilians. So she's going to be a pretty good crowd control character there. So I'm very excited to have her in the game, and she will be part of the Excalibur team. And so the next thing we got, I think, was from today. I didn't update my sheet for the day that it came out, but yeah, this is going to be today's update, and this is going to be another thing that most fans of the game have been clamoring for. And honestly, the designer said the same thing. I'm actually more excited for the Kickstarter exclusive aspect of this next announcement rather than I am for the retail aspect of this announcement. So we click on update number 71. It's the new Sinister Six bring maximum carnage. I'm not going to play the video. You guys can watch that on your own. But it says, escaping from prison, Carnage partnered with Shriek, and the couple started a twisted sort of family, bringing in Doppelganger and Demigoblin under Carnage's symbolic wings. So I'm not going to, again, read through the whole thing, but we get maximum carnage, only $35, and it's Morbin time, apparently. We got Morbius as the anti-hero in the box. We've got Demogoblin, Scorpion, Scream, Shriek, and Doppelganger as our straight up villains in this deck. And it looks like a new challenge mode in the way of Dark Carnage. So that is going to be pretty nifty. I'm going to just, I don't want to scroll down that far. So these are all the different components in the game. And one of the things that you do notice on there, which is pretty cool, and I'm circling it here with cursor, is that we actually get the first dice or die in Marvel United. So that's pretty cool there. So not only do you get this, but they have some Kickstarter exclusive components right here. So let's kind of read through this. So again, this is going to be Marvel United Maximum Carnage. It's going to come with all of this that I can't possibly read without boring you and having you click off of the video, and I don't want to do that. So there is that. If you acquire this optional buy in this Kickstarter campaign, you'll also get a whole set of Kickstarter exclusive components to use any combination of 6 Spider-Man villains in the Sinister Six assembled game mode. Spoiler alert. So first we're going to have Challenge Carnage. There he is right there. Any player growing overconfident with all their newfangled powers and equipment should try adding the Carnage challenge to their game. Similar to the Deadpool challenge, but a hell of a lot more serious and deadly. This challenge adds Carnage as an agent of death to any game alongside the normal villain. Before every villain turn, players roll the Carnage die. If it lands on a number, Carnage moves that many spaces and places an infection token on the first thug or civilian there, or adds an infected thug if the location is empty. If the die lands on the Carnage symbol, Carnage moves to the next location with a hero, infects a civilian or thug in the same way, and then proceeds to rally all of his symbiotically affected infected minions to attack the heroes in their locations. Heroes will have to make sure to rescue infected civilians and defeat infected thugs quickly to avoid being overwhelmed. Also, they lose the game if the pool of infected tokens ever runs out, and it looks like there are only 6 of those. So, and whenever there are no infected tokens on the board, Carnage, you can attack Carnage directly, defeating him once his health is depleted. However, if the heroes fail to defeat Carnage before they defeat the main villain of the game, and the Carnage is not over yet. If that happens, Dark Carnage immediately becomes the main villain, flipping over his dashboard and taking over the fallen villain's place. He keeps his health and gains extra health equal to the remaining infected tokens in play. These are removed at this point. Dark Carnage doesn't have a master plan deck. Instead, during the villain turn, he rolls his Carnage die, moving around and viciously attacking the heroes. The Carnage result means an even deadlier attack. KO'd heroes are devoured and removed from the game. Can the heroes defeat Dark Carnage before he eats them? All. So, yes, that is going to be a pretty insane new challenge mode. So next we're going to take a look at the anti-hero. We've got Morbius here with his cards. Again, I'm not necessarily wanting to go through each individual card right up. The Morbius challenge, or not Morbius challenge, the Carnage challenge was pretty interesting, and I'm sure, because I did read through this some, I know there's going to be some interesting abilities in the various hero and villain decks on here, but let's just take a look real quick. We've got Morbius in the game. We've got Scream with her minions there. We're going to have Scorpion twice whenever he bams, so he bams twice. That's cool. We're going to have Shriek with Carrion Henchman there. Demogoblin, which looks all awesome. I like the fire effect for the glider there. And then Doppelganger. Is it the same? No, that's a chimney, not a wall piece. And so we're going to have the new Sinister Six, which leaves... while each of these villains is worthy challenge to be faced by themselves, this expansion brings back an extremely popular game mode, allowing players to face all the new Sinister Six together. So I do like the fact with this and the Sinister Six box that you can fight them as individuals and then also fight them in this new mode. I still wish Blob Pyro and Toad had an individual mode to fight them, and I wish that who's the other one that is like Pietro and Wanda. I wish you could fight their villain modes separate as well. So but yeah, so we're gonna have a new Sinister Six, but again, not really what I wanted to come in here and talk about. And yes, we've got locations, Statue of Liberty, Bishop Publishing, Hell's Kitchen, Fisk Tower. I believe these 3 here have an ongoing effect that's always revealed, and then you reveal the other effect on the board. But again, like I said, exclusive bonuses. Look at that map and you can see it changing here. What I like about this is those extra components you can now, between Sinister Six 1, now Sinister Six 2 or Maximum Carnage, and with other spider related characters, not only from season 1 but from the Spider-Geddon box and season 3 here. But they're basically going to give every spider-related villain their own little portion of a dashboard, and everyone's got a weak spot card now. You can actually just use whatever character you want to create your own Sinister Six with the Spider-Man foes. You can't do like, you can't put Thanos and his entire Dark Order there. You can't put Magneto and all the Brotherhood members there. Is only for Spider-Man characters, and I like the fact they don't show it here. I like the fact you can't really see it on here, but there is labeled on this middle piece of the dashboard. That's like the main puzzle hub that they're all connected to. There's letters A through F? A through F that are there, and the cards, instead of having the villain cards from like Sinister Six or Maximum Carnage that mix up the villains that come with that set, is just going to be A through F, I believe, and as you're drawing, you're just using the effects of, A and C, or you're using the effects of E and B kind of thing. So it will be pretty awesome. I think the cards are better. Let's go back up here. Filling in the empty space. Oh my gosh, where is it all at? Yeah, you can't really see it in the video that much, but like I believe you, if I remember, it's been a while. If I'm remembering the Sinister Six mode, you're picking the top two still active villains in there, and going off of that. So that's gonna be a pretty cool expansion. I believe this is um, going to be nifty. And oh, that's the thing, I scrolled too far because of the fact that they you can get Green Goblin from Enter the Spider-Verse, which is already available at retail. You can get other Spider-Foe characters in the Season 1 stretch goal box, which they're offering again in this Kickstarter for $120. I will hopefully, before the campaign ends, have an unboxing video of that out for you guys to take a look at and make that decision either now, or even if, I guess you can add it in the pledge manager later on. So if I get those out after the campaign ends, it's not gonna be a big deal, but you have to at least pledge $1 to get to access to that. But the other thing they're gonna offer now is going to be Return of the Sinister Six. So it's an expansion. It is $45. It is the original OG Sinister Six box. They're going to offer it again during this campaign. They did say during the live stream that this should be it as far as boxes they are offering. They've pretty much, I mean, not that many. They've at this point re-offered both stretch goal boxes from Season 1 and Season 2, and they have now also offered at least one expansion box from Season 1 and one from Season 2. They offered the Fantastic Four to go with Galactus and the Inhumans from War of Kings, and then they have now offered Return of the Sinister Six to go with the Maximum Carnage. So we're getting a lot of Season 1. I know it doesn't seem like much, but we are getting a lot of good Season 1 and Season 2 content in this game, or in this campaign. So yeah, there is that right there. So we get, because of that, we unlocked Megan, and we are now, well, this is that update that I said there's a lot of stuff that's being unlocked or being discussed in this update. So Winter Guard is coming. Megan is unlocked. Thank you, Maximum Carnage, and thank you, Return of the Sinister Six. Before they check out the stretch goal, we'd like to provide some additional info on campaign decks. So they discuss in here the fact that you need to have those components from stuff that may or may not be offered on there. So and it says on here, please note some of the items listed here could be considered spoilers for campaigns. So if you don't want to know what shows up in each campaign, skip this section. I don't really care all that much. They did change the artwork there on the Maximum Carnage because of the expansion that came out today. So they updated it with the correct artwork. So I'm going to give, if you don't want spoilers, I will give you permission to turn off the video now if you want to do that. If not, I am going to scroll past here in 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. All right, so as far as Maximum Carnage goes, these are the cards. These are the things you need from each set. Not even just the set, but the things you need from each set. So you do need all of Maximum Carnage. You will, or for the Maximum Carnage campaign, you will need Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse. You will need Captain America and the Central Park location from the core box. You'll need the Raft location from Civil War. You'll need Black Cat, Iron Fist, and Venom from United promos, Cloak, Dagger, and Firestar from the Mutant promos, and Cyborg, Spider-Man from the Multiverse promos. Again, people wanted a list of what they needed from each set, and they are blatantly giving it to you. I don't understand why, especially because of the spoiler aspect, I don't understand why people were wanting to know exact components. I guess it's so they can figure out what they do and do need to buy, and to make the decision whether or not to get this add-on. Between the oh well, not yeah this add-on as far as the campaign decks, but at the same time, to me, it's like this $15 deck. Like, it's not like it's a $35-40 expansion. It's a deck of cards. So I I'm getting it, and I even though I own everything, um, I I I'm, I guess I get torn between just not people not having everything. I understand the frustration. If you don't have anything, you weren't part of the first two campaigns, and I understand the frustration with the fact that they offered the season one stuff during season two. People are frustrated they're not offering the season three. As soon as the Sinister Six box was released, the first thing I saw in the comments was, "Oh, now you need to offer this other thing from the first campaign, or you need to offer this other thing from the first campaign." It's like no one can be satisfied. Like, they're offering more than I guarantee you they probably originally thought. I think they even said that they weren't planning on reoffering some of those old boxes. So, but I digress. We're going to go to the next one. I've already warned you of spoilers. Age of Apocalypse. You do need a lot of things. You need the Age of Apocalypse box. You need um, Storm, Jean Grey, and Wolverine from United X-Men Corps, Iceman, Colossus, Bishop, and the Chandelier uh, location from Gold Team, Rogue, Gambit, Jubilee, Mr. Sinister from Blue Team, Deadpool from Deadpool, Gladiator from War Kings, um, Morlock Tunnels from X Force, Cape Citadel from First Class, the Traitor Challenge from Tales of Asgard, Wundagore Mountain from the Fantastic Four box, Plan B Challenge from the Guardians Remix box, the Scarlet Witch from United Promos, Blink Nightcrawler Strong Guy, Sunspot, Kitty Pryde, Magic, Shadow King from Mutant Promos, and Chamber and Husk from Multiverse Promos. Age of Apocalypse is one of those books series that I loved as a kid, and since it was like the first major storyline I ever read through, I read through it a lot over and over and over again because I didn't have anything else to read at that point. I can literally look at this entire list and tell you exactly what things they are going to be doing. Wolverine, Jean Grey are because of the Weapon X book where they were, what was it? They were originally helping to get the Sentinels to America from Europe to try to evacuate the humans. Storm was part of the Amazing X-Men team with Iceman fighting against Abyss, who's not in here. Colossus and Shadowcat down there, or Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, were looking for... Who were they looking? They were looking for Ileana. So there's that. Chamber and Husk were also with him as part of the Generation Next team. Strong Guy, I guarantee you, spoiler, I guarantee he's why the Trader Challenge is in there to a point, because Gambit and the Externals, I think, if I remember the story correctly, he did betray Gambit's team. I think at some point he had little child Charles Xavier, Magneto and Rogue's son, who I am realizing for some reason I don't see Magneto on this list. Do I not see? Yeah, I don't see Magneto on this list, so I don't know why we're not. He was orchestrating everything in that series, but anyway, I'm not going to go much more into all that. There's everything. If you want to take a look at it and pause right here, there's everything you need from Avengers vs. X-Men. Everything you need from War Kings. Executioner Song, to me, is still one. I'm not sure why they have it in there. It was a big storyline. It was a 12-part storyline, but I think it's because of the fact that you fought Apocalypse, or that the story involved Apocalypse, involved Mr. Sinister, and involved Strife toward the end of that storyline. So I think it's because of how many villains you actually are interacting with in that game. Although it was after Archangel was no longer a horseman, so there's that. There's Age of Ultron, Dark Phoenix Saga. So That's another one right there I'm very interested to play as. But yep, there is everything updated for those campaign decks. So as we're going to move down now for the actual stretch goal that was ready, Red Guardian, the one of the members of the Winter Guard, again as a anti-hero. So there he is there. Red Guardian is an honorable fighter, gaining extra attacks as long as they're not used to deal killing blow to henchmen or villains. So he probably, when fighting thugs and whatnot, or even fighting henchmen, he probably gets extra attacks, extra attack actions. But that probably doesn't proc whenever he's takes out the villain or the henchman, or the villain you defeat. But yeah, so there is that. He's able to look at as many master plan cards as the number of civilians he just rescued, possibly placing them at the bottom of the deck. So he gets a little bit of deck manipulation there. And they finally talk about, I'm going to read it through here in a minute, the mechanics of Darkstar and Ursa Major as far as their villain side. They must, as many must have suspected, these characters are not used as individual villains, but instead the three of them work together as a villain team, so you can fight the Winter Guard as a unified threat. The Winter Guard's mission is to interrogate the heroes and uncover their secrets. The interrogation track may increase when an overflow is triggered, when a hero is KO'd, or when a hero is caught in a location with an interrogation techniques threat. The three villains move around independently, attacking the heroes in different ways. Red Guardian may attack several locations. Ursa Major may get rid of all thugs and civilians, and Darkstar can make her attacks unpreventable. Red Guardian may even interrogate them directly, forcing them to discard a card from their hand and increasing the interrogation track. If it contains an attack, the heroes must knock down the Winter Guard one by one as quickly as possible before all their secrets are exposed. There's all that. The battle against Winter Guard can also be used as a special challenge for the previously unlocked Crimson Dynamo, where he benefits from the secrets uncovered by his fellow Winter Guard members. In this mode, players first play a game against the Winter Guard. If they win, they then proceed to the final game against Crimson Dynamo, carrying any action tokens they had left and adding additional crisis tokens to the power struggle mission, according to how far they allowed the Winter Guard's interrogation track to advance. Makes me wonder with that if the Winter Guard was like our freebie. As far as like there was I really don't see one coming in here. Black Panther was originally a paid add-on that was later added as a stretch goal. Or not a stretch goal, but it was later added in the Apocalypse Pledge for free, or not Apocalypse Pledge, Infinity Pledge. That's what I'm trying to say. Whereas the X-Force box was unlocked as stretch goals when they were approaching the same dollar amount as the first campaign. So I don't know if they're going to do that again during this one. I don't see why they would do that, but like I said, we got a whole challenge mode and everything here from the Winter Guard. So, but that is pretty good there. And I think we got one more update for today with the Maximum Carnage box. We did unlock the Red Guardian. We had joined the Evolution, and they also did say right here at noon Eastern time they were going to have on Monday. They're on February 6th. They're going to have another live stream. We'll recap the content that gets revealed from now until then, as well as gaze a little into what the final days will bring. Make sure to join the final countdown, which will be happening here. So you can click on that if you want to. Again, I will probably be I go back to work on Sunday. It stinks. I work on Monday. So I will probably do a video talking about that Monday evening, and then, like I said earlier, figure out what we're doing about Wednesday after that. So be on the lookout for my channel with a little bit of talking about that video there. So then we got High Evolutionary unlocked. So this is another post that contained some spoilerage. Plays quite differently from any other encounter. His master plan cards all have threats on their backs, with half of them starting as his deck and the other half being placed as threat cards on the locations. These threats are his genetic manipulations, which force heroes to discard random cards from their hand. When cleared, these cards are flipped and added to the bottom of the master plan deck. The most dangerous of them being his de-evolution, which forces heroes around the evolutionary to discard all cards with special effects from their hands. All the while, the evolution track advances for each overflowing token, counting down to the hero's defeat. Now, there is going to be a spoiler in here, so if you don't want to watch this spoiler, I'm going to give it in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so on once 3 missions are complete, which may happen sooner than you think, the High Evolutionary can be damaged, and also Jackal's threat card is flipped over, revealing him to be the true villain of this story. The Jackal starts chasing the High Evolutionary, attacking not only the heroes but the Evolutionary himself. To win the game, heroes must defeat the Jackal before he manages to eliminate the High Evolutionary. Excuse me, it's tired. So there his card right there, and that was the final update for today. So that is update number 73. So we got covered through 67 through 73 today. Going with predictions for going into the weekend. Monday, I'm expecting a final expansion and the all-in pledge, finally. As far as what can be revealed on over the weekend, we still don't have, and I feel like they were already announced during the X-Men campaign. No, they got announced on day 19. So on day 16 of the X-Men campaign, they announced the locations, the cardboard locations. And on day 19, it looks like they announced the new dashboards. So I imagine this weekend, the locations and the dashboards are going to be announced. They'll announce the locations and dashboards for this campaign, and I would not be surprised, especially because of the fact that they are releasing old content. Maybe not. Well, yes, I imagine because of the fact that they are releasing new content, and most of the locations in that box would be for stuff not only offered in this campaign, but things that are already in retail. I have to imagine that they will offer the locations. Even then, a lot of those locations are not specific to, except for like first class, the danger room mechanics and everything. They're not necessarily needed for a specific expansion. Some of it's just flavor text and whatnot, or flavor location and everything. Thematically, yes, they would go to a certain hero or team or whatnot, but I think the only exception would be the Thanos locations, the Infinity Gauntlet locations. So, yeah, I already thought they would have been announced, but wouldn't be surprised if they're going to announce all the cardboard locations and the villain dashboards cardboard this weekend. That's all I'm thinking is going to be announced before an all-in. I don't think another expansion is going to come out. Maybe a card pack, I don't know, but I'd be almost willing to bet money on cardboard locations and cardboard villain dashboards. So that is the video tonight. We are at 11:24 p.m. I may or may not attempt to get this edited tonight. If not, I'll get it edited in the morning and put out for your consumption, observation, ridicule, everything else. We are still, looks like 51, just over $50,000 away from the next stretch goal being unlocked. It'll probably be unlocked maybe tomorrow afternoon, or as soon as an optional buy is revealed on Saturday and or Sunday. So hopefully we haven't gone a day without at least something unlocked throughout the day. Dave 12 got a little pass because the Young Avengers team deck, but as far as a character, we did have a skip day. But we did get some content unlocked almost every day of this campaign. So, with that said, and I've already kind of said it earlier, but thank you guys for watching this video. We're almost to 50 subscribers, so very excited for that. Thank you guys so much for going on this trip with me. I hope you will stick around after Marvel United is over. I'm still planning, like I said, to do some Marvel United gameplay and other stuff, so be on the lookout for that. But I do enjoy or I do want to play some other games on the channel. So like I said, again, just be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Please like this video in particular. Please subscribe to this channel especially. Ring the notification bell so you can know when I soberly start to ramble about whatever on the internet. And I thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye.